Right. Okay, I hope you guys can see me. I'll give y'all a minute to come on in. All right, all right. Okay, okay. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is your girl, your friend, Tahiri Divine. It's just an honor and a blessing to be with you guys again. I am so happy to be back from my hiatus. It has been a wonderful, interesting, turbulent, I gotta use that word too, but all of it has been a blessing so far. And I'm back, and I'm back, and I'm excited to be back coming out of this initiation that I have been in. Oh my God, I hope my Wi-Fi link is working. Oh, got it, got it. Okay. Please let me know if you guys are seeing me clear. It says my Wi-Fi is acting out. Like, this is what happens with Mercury retrograde. Things be acting real wonky, but we here. All right, if you guys haven't done so by now, please make sure that you are following the YouTube channel. So go ahead and hit subscribe and the notification bell so that you're notified when I am releasing content so you guys keep informed. And most importantly, join my mailing list. You go to tahiridivine.com. You can join the mailing list that way so that you are keep up with me, and I'm gonna put that in the chat for you all so you guys can see that. Go to heardivine.com to join the mailing list. Yes. Okay, awesome, awesome. Well, let's get into today's topic. Today, we are talking about the esoteric mysteries of the human body. And I am loving that because this is something that I have been in initiation of for quite some time. I want to say just about 2 years now that it's been an active principle that I've been activating within the last 2 years. And I'm here to share with you just a little bit more about some of these secrets and mysteries as it pertains to earth magic and earth wisdom. So let me go ahead and give you guys some backstory on what's been going on. About 2 years ago now, I decided to make a contract with the earth element. And excuse me, and not just with the earth element, let me even deeper than that, with the entity, the being herself, right, that we express as a she. I made a conscious contract or pact or whatever you want to call it. It's a contract with the earth element as a way to be her apprentice, to learn her ways, to learn her mysteries, and to know how to apply them in my life, because that was something that I felt that I was lacking in. I was lacking really the stability of my own inner earth element. And looking at my natal chart prospectively, I only really had one earth placement, and that was my Neptune, which is in Capricorn. And so, other than that, I'm filled with a lot of air and fire. So, I'm a lot of air and fire element. I'm going to talk about the air element in another video, but today's going to be specifically about the earth mysteries and how she was able to reveal some things to me that I am able to share with you guys. So hopefully this will help you along your path in your journey. Okay. So if you're just coming in, we're talking about the esoteric mysteries of the body and earth magic. So like I said, about 2 years ago, I made a contract with her. I made an active live contract with her that I wanted to learn her mysteries. And I didn't know what to really expect. I had this idea in my mind that, okay, so like it's real popular to be a plant mom or a plant dad or whatever, whatever. So I was like, you know what, that's what I'll do. I'm going to get me some plants to really to bring into my home, excuse me, and just start a garden, because I did have a garden I was growing back when I was living in my previous home before I moved out northwest, and that was a little of my introduction to really understanding the earth element. So fast forward to that point in my life, and I was like, yeah, let's make an active contract with her. And it took me on a road that I did not expect. Again, I was on some basic shit, basic bitch shit. I thought like, oh, I'm gonna get me some plants and I'm gonna learn her this way. And she was like, no, ma'am, no turkey, no ham, no sir. That's not how we doing it. What was immediately happened to me was an infliction in my body, and bringing body consciousness and body awareness. And so that has really been my initiation in learning the earth element and understanding a little bit more of what has been revealed on the reverence and the importance of being in the body, because as we know, the body is of nature, it's not outside of it. We have been so disconnected with our elemental the elementals in general, but specifically the earth, to see everything in nature outside of us as something that's separate. And she showed like, no, baby, you are earth, you are the descendant of earth, you have come from that. You know, we have quotes like from dust to dust, right? We go back to the dust, and that is true, you know. And so with that being said, even right now with me on this computer talking to you all, the computer has the exact same elements that's within the body. So when you look at that, we have the silica, we have copper, we have all these elementals that create what we're utilizing in these devices. I mean, this phone here, my camera is in the body. And so it's important to understand how these elementals are working in our body and these minerals as much as what it means in the earth, right? So with that pack, I said it started with an inflictions, and I've had my experiences with inflictions before, health crises. Let's say that health crises before, where I would go to the earth element when my doctors and medical team couldn't necessarily give me any reasons or answers to what I was experiencing or how to heal my element. Then it would come to me through going through the earth. Hello, hello, welcome, welcome. Hey, goddess of sacred waters. Oh, I love that. I miss seeing you on YouTube. Yes, we're back on YouTube, so we gonna be here Sundays. This is where I'm planning, and my energies letting me know that Sundays would be my day. So Sundays typically around this time, per se, I'll always have, or at least try to have a banner or a notification, something in my community post, so you guys can know when on what time Sundays that we be going live. But look for Sundays. Okay. So I, like I said, I had these series of inflictions before where I had to go to the earth element. I come from a root working family. So on my father's side, my grandmothers, great grandmothers, the women on my father's side, who are from the Gullah Islands of South Carolina and Georgia. Well, more so South Carolina and Florida. It's more so South Carolina, Florida, where they're from. The Gullahs, Geechee Gullah people, very much spiritual people, very much. Anyway, so I got that from my grandmothers. So I have that connection with the understanding how to work with herbs and elements, but still, that was been something I had to do. So when this series of lessons or initiations came for me, it was really me understanding the processes of the body, particularly the irrigation system, right? We hear about irrigation when it comes to like watering the lawn or your land. There's an irrigation system within the body, and that would be your nervous system, as well as the nose, was it nose, ears, eyes, throat. And that's just a more recent system that I am getting understanding about the importance of flushing, the importance of water as it pertains to the earth element, because this is just a little something that came to me before, what we know as Earth, right? Or Gaia or Gia or Terra. Terra is now her elevated name, if you want to say that. But anyway, she was and is still a water planet. She's not land as we per se, but land has formulated. Let me just give you guys some of the mystery. So we know the elements to be earth, wind, fire, water, right? With this paradigm that we're in, it was a water-based planet, right? Plane of existence. And air comes from water. So in the deep darkness of the waters was a single spark or a thought, which is air element, which was been able to be sparked with the fire with the will, which brought forth land or the body. Land is the body. And so it is important when we look at the feminine body, right, is that we are in alignment with not just our earth, which is the body, but also our air, which is our mind, our fire, which is our will and our heart space, as well as our waters. The waters is going to be the most important thing that we understand how to, I'm using the word control, but it's more so maneuver and how to really walk and be in our waters so that our land, the body, and our air, the mind, and our fire, the heart, and our will is always in alignment, because really what really fuels us is not our fire, it's the waters within. That's what fuels everything. Our emotions are everything. But in order to get our emotions in alignment, we have to get our mind. So as the mysteries that really came to me with all these different afflictions that I was experiencing, which were actually real afflictions, like physical afflictions, the most important thing, like if you've ever been sick, like down sick, your mind starts to go into a direction that can be negative depending on how bad your body may feel, or your you know how you feel. And what was revealed to me is the power of the mind, because your mind is actually your womb. And when I say that, I don't mean to take away from our physical vaginal space, right? Because that is our definitely the seat, our womb, right? But the mind itself is a womb too, because whatever you think, right, whatever you believe is what you're going to experience. It's going to move your waters to be a certain way, and it's going to move the body to respond that way. And that would either flame your heart, your heart would either be hardened or it will be softened. Hello, hello, beautiful. Oh, it's so good seeing you, Goddess Essence Energy. Yes, yes. Thank you, thank you. And so when she was revealing to me about these, I had to really better come to grips with controlling or getting a better grip of my own mind, my air element, having my head cleared, having my head space and a space that is free. And what helped me, and I think I shared this before with you guys too, I suffered from anxiety, and it was really bad. I used to have like thoughts coming to me a miles a minute. And what really helped me to get better control of that, or better stability, let's say that stability in my air, was to meditate. And for me, meditation doesn't come easy. So I'm not that kind of person that can like sit and go, I mean, I can get there now, but at the time I wasn't able to do that because my mind was so everywhere. Hey, Raven. Hello. Welcome. What was able for me to get that control, let's say that stability, was I had to start people watching my thoughts. So what it was that I was doing, I had to become the observer of myself and of my thoughts, and separate myself from the emotion of it. Let's see. Queen Afua says that we have three wombs: the womb of our mind, the womb of our heart, the womb of our sacred. Yes, yes, yes. That is very much true. Always a blessing to come into the space and share with you. Oh, thank you, ladies. Thank you so much. I'm honored that you ladies are here and soaking up this information that I share. Yes, yes. But yeah, so I had to become the observer. And in becoming the observer, I was completely disconnected or disassociated from any emotions that these thoughts may have brought. And it's kind of like when you're watching people, you're not like emotionally invested in like watching the people in the grocery store or at the park or wherever you at, or if you watch people. I'm a people watcher. That's me. And so I did that, and I was able to file away those thoughts. And as I was doing that, I started to recognize a lot of these thoughts weren't even my own. These were things that I picked up from other people, whether it was in family, circles, church, whoever, just things I picked up from other people, media. And I got to a space from this continual practice. I want to say it took me about maybe a month of doing this practice, about maybe once a day or so, that I got to a space where it was complete silence and it was nobody else but me, the observer. And that's when I became to a space to learn now my emotional triggers, because that is where we have to be aware of our emotional triggers so that we are not acting in an emotional act, or that our fire is not being flamed to respond or to react. And that is important to the body, because now this is where we get into the nervous system, right? Our nervous system is what really is one another. It's not an energy point. What's the word I'm looking for? It helps the energy to move. And when you are in a high energetic, let's say like anxiety, it's a high alert. You're in high alert, right? So all these hormones are being released, these endorphins. It's not so much endorphins, but one of the chemicals that are being released in the body, that can cause distress. And now your body's in distress, your mental's in distress, and everything's out of wonk. And because we are a part of nature, because we are connected to earth, that energy is being transmuted into earth. And this is why a lot of time we hear spiritualists talk about grounding, put your feet in the ground and get grounded. That is definitely one practice, but we're kind of always grounded, even though if our feet are not touching the earth. Now your feet should touch the earth, so I'm not telling you that. But because of the our EMFs, the energy that we're emitting from our body, right? Their electromagnetic energy that we have, that is another way of being released into the earth, right? So she's absorbing that. And if we're not giving it if we're not giving that a proper burial or a proper releasing to replace it with something else as a fertilizer of some sort. So think of it like any negative energy. You can release it, but use it as a fertilizer. Because I think of cow manure or human feces, and not to be like, no, but this is all part of the human stuff. This is all part of the earth, y'all. Our menstrual blood, all of that goes back to the earth. And if we are not being intentional with what we're putting into the earth, and we're just dumping things, right? We're dumping our emotions, we're dumping these negative thoughts, we're dumping it starts to create a negative reaction, and it brings back a negative force field to us, right? Yes, dear, I say that exact energy exchange with nature and the weather and ourselves. Oh, you saw that happen today. Okay, okay. See, we into it. And so this is what I'm coming to just give to shed a little bit more light to, is that us specifically as female beings, right? Or being in a female form, right? We have a specific role that we can play as how we are able to manage the earth, because we are earth keepers. We know from not just from historical, but you already know this intuitively, women are the first humans or the first beings that came on the earth element, or came from the earth element, right? When we look at archaeology bones, the oldest bones they keep finding ain't male, and that's nothing wrong with the men folk or the male folk. It is of a female. It's of a female being. It's a female form. So we know that the female is the oldest, or the most original human form that has been on Earth. So it's letting us know that we are the gatekeepers, really. And nobody likes a gatekeeper, but we are. We're the gatekeepers of Earth. We're the gatekeepers of the divine portal, right? Our yoni, and what is able to come into from the spirit world to manifest into form. And this is why it's important that we have our mind space clear, because everything, we're birthing something all the time. It doesn't have to be a physical human child. Whatever's in our mind is what we're going to birth. And this is what I've been able to reveal too, which a lot of us know, is that the subconscious mind is feminine. And our conscious mind is what's considered to be our masculine form, right? So in our subconscious mind, this is where symbols play. This is where ceremony plays an importance into us. Ritual plays an importance too, because it speaks to our subconscious mind. This is where marketing has been manipulated because they're constantly shooting us with images, colors, symbols. A lot of the symbols are ourselves. Like you think of Shell gas station, I actually have a Shell on right now, the Shell gas station, the Starbucks symbol, even Chevron, just all these symbols are actually the divine feminine symbols, but they are using it into commerce. They are now manipulating this feminine energy to be an incubator of what they desire to pull out of it. The key is our womb, and the key is our womb. We are regenerated through our own womb and mothers. Yes, yes. And this is why it's important that we ensure that our mind. If you look at all I'll just go to the Christian Bible, right? They talk about the renewing of the mind. Our mind, as human beings, but particularly as the feminine, the female form, it is important that we are the ones that are in control of our mind, that we are the ones that are using our mind to create the experiences that we desire, and to be intentful with what energy that we're producing, because of us, because of the role that we play as the beings that we were born into at this particular time in our lives, in this awareness that we're in, we have a specific role. And it is important that we make sure that we're flushing our irrigation system, right? The nervous system, the mind, the air element within us, that there isn't junk that's coming in. So the music that we play, the foods that we eat, all of that is a mind connection. And this is where I'm going to go into the solar plexus real quick, right? Our gut, would we say, they would call that our first mind, which is so true, because if you really think about it, when you were being formulated in the womb, the first or second organ, I guess you could say, or actually, I think they're kind of simultaneously coming together, that heart and the gut is being formulated together, because we know, actually, really, I think the gut comes first, because if you think about it, and I don't know the full process, but I'm just thinking that the placenta formulates and then it starts to create the fetus. And so it's like feeding into the stomach. So it's like your stomach is your first mind, and from the stomach, your heart is there. Then all the other appendages kind of come out later. I have to really go back and do a little bit more study on the formulation of a fetus to see how that works. But to me, as I'm thinking and remembering from having a kid, I want to say, yeah, I think your stomach is what's formed first, and then the heart, and then everything else. But just to put that, I'm just giving us a little perspective too. Is your stomach, the solar plexus, your will, the will to live, the will to carry, the will to be, right? The will to be, and then to have the mind cleared, and that you be the one to think and to know, what it is that you want, having your eye wide open, right? Your eye is your first eye. So coming all that together, it's going to be really important, especially if you're a menstruating woman, to ensure that you are putting back your menstrual blood into the earth, whether that's into a plant, whether that's into the ground. I would really say to begin that practice as giving back to earth, as making it a symbiotic exchange, the way we do with trees, because trees, I want to say, they breathe in oxygen, or no, they breathe in, is it carbon dioxide is what we exhale. Humans exhale carbon dioxide, and then the trees breathe it in, and then trees exhale oxygen, and we breathe that in. So we actually have the same connection relationship with the earth. And having that body consciousness, right? Being present in your body, being aware of your body. It's going to be so important that we take real care of the body, because it is the temple of our infinite being, right? Of our awareness in this particular space. And it is also going to be the vehicle that we use to manifest and sustain manifestations. That's another thing that she's been really teaching me on, about this this concept of abundance has been conflated to mean like you have more and more and you overflow. And I talked about this in another video about how that is wasteful when we are continually in a state of just producing, 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 right? Manifesting, manifesting, manifesting. We are taking more of a patriarchal way of doing that. And what I mean by that, we're consistently in the state of producing. But when you're always producing, when are you making time to sustain, to maintain, to nurture, to prune? There's other functions and operations that we must do, because you can have a you can it's and I say, because I've been this happened to me in 2020. I manifested so much money within that year, that because I was in this constant state of manifesting, 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 bringing in all this money, I didn't have the proper avenues on where to place it so that it could continue to generate itself, instead of me being the constant engine that's keeping it going. And this is what has happened to the female body, esoterically and physically, is that it's being energetically um, abused. I'm going to use that word, abused. 'Cause I want to be careful not to get demonetized or say something like up flag. But you guys know the great. Let's say that it's been great, and it's almost like, and actually, a video I actually just watched from another spiritual content creator actually kind of spoke on this. It's like you are part of a hive, and not in the way that is beneficial to you. Because if you think about the queen bee, her job is just to produce, right? Produce, produce, produce until she dies. And nothing's wrong with that, because she's doing her role that she's here to do. But what happens to us humans, right? Us, the female body, is because we are a multi-dimensional person, right? You are the mother and the whore, right? And what I mean by whore, I mean you are a sexual expressive being, and patriarchy has demonized that part of us. And you are also a nurturer and a caregiver and a warrior too, because the mother energy is also a warrior. And because of our current programming, there's a splitting of that, and we're either being funneled to be one way or the other. And what happens is your mind starts to get convoluted, because now your mind's being split in two. You're being fed one extreme to only be, when the other part of you wants to be free. So now let's just say you're being fed to be a mother, right? You're being fed to be the mother, and just the mother energy, to be a constant giver, to be sacrificial, which a mother's not really sacrificial to the extent as far as being like a Jesus character, right? Which we talked about Jesus being a feminine element, but we'll go into that another time. But you're being split to be just this one particular archetype of self. And then the other part of you that needs to be expressed is being pushed back into the darker aspect, into the deeper and deeper and deeper, to be suppressed, because we only want this part of you so that we can feed off of you. And if we continue to feed off you, we can continue to manipulate and control the feminine. And then we have some women that we want to be this archetype, this sacred whore, or the Magdalene. Let's go, the Mary and the Magdalene, right? We want her to be the Magdalene, and we want to use her sexual energy to feed off of, to take from. And yet there's some perks to that, right? But then also too, you're being split. So both of these archetypes are being split to fight each other, to hate each other. And then we start to have this inner battle. And that is what's tearing up our own physical body, right? The inner battle with us, whether that's your specific inner battle or not, there's an inner battle that's being taken in place when we are constantly being programmed with messages that are not in alignment to the fullness of ourselves, to the fullness expression of ourselves. And so as the women, it's going to be so important and keen that you take back your mind. And within taking back your mind, you bring back yourself to body awareness. What feels good to your body? What doesn't? What is best and healthy and optimal for you? What ways do you need to be in? Your physical safety, your emotional safety, all of these these expressions and phases of your life have to be taken consideration, because then this is what happens. This is what I really want. And I talk about sovereignty a lot, and I want to give just praises to my dear sister, Earth Feminine Wisdom. She made a post that said, what happens a lot of times, spiritual women get preyed upon because, see, you're tapping into your spiritual gifts, but then you're not sovereign in your gifts. So she said, we don't want to just be spiritual women. We want to be spiritual and sovereign. And that is what I mean. This is what Earth Magic Mother has been teaching me about sovereignty, because Earth is a sovereign being, and she has been doing her work to ascend. And what I mean by that, I just mean she's going to do what's best for her, right? She don't necessarily need humans. She don't necessarily need trees. She don't need animals here. She don't need nothing. She creates because she loves to be a creator, a nurturer, a provider, and creates these expressions for herself to see herself express. But if the part of herself is going rogue, she ain't gonna let all of herself go to shit. So she gonna say, F that. She'll do what she always do. Flood it, hurricane it, earthquake it, whatever she needs to do to get herself back into alignment, she's going to do that. But we're in a space and time right now where we have time before she takes that route to get back into our alignment of selves. Because, see, the disruption that we recognize and see in the earth is happening within ourselves, right? So I'm going to really behoove you ladies who are listening to this to please make sure that you are getting yourself checked up, that you are bringing awareness. Have a team of health professionals. Notice I didn't say doctors, but doctors are included in that too. I think it's, at least for me, let's say what I've been working on. I have a team. I have a chiropractor and an acupuncturist. I have a nutritionist, and I have a fitness specialist or a fitness instructor. I'll be meeting with a stomach doctor. I think it's called a gastrointestinal doctor. I just left my eyes, ears, nose, throat doctor last week because I developed adult onset allergies. Never had allergies before in my life. Still waiting for my hearing in one of my ears to come back, because I ended up developing an ear infection because of the allergies I got or developed, right? And even within that has been an interesting process of learning a little bit more deeper of the body, and what has been just learning more deep in the body. So she's actually right now, so mother mysteries are taking me through medical astrology right now. I'm learning astrology, and it has on how it pertains to the body, because it's just beautiful. And I'm glad that I'm in this space, because that's something that's very important to me. I call myself a practical spiritualist. Hey, that's a lot happening. That's been happening a lot. Okay. So yeah, so you ladies are definitely, and I want to say guys, I want to be very clear. You ladies, you sisters, my sisters, y'all, my sisters, you are feeling this, right? So getting with a vaginal doctor or a health professional, an herbalist, having an herbalist on your team. This goes back into when, if you guys took my emergence class, right? There was an archetype that we went through. It was the queen archetype. And this is about having your court. And there's many different courts that you have. You have your spiritual court, where it's your higher self, your angels, your guides, your ancestors, or whoever, your deity. That is part of your spiritual court. Also, now in your physical life, you need to have a court there too. And remember, these people are here to advise you. You still make the decision, because you have sovereignty, okay? They're just specialized in what they work with. And ensure that your team works together, because it's been a journey, but I'm now in a space where I have my chiropractor working with my acupuncturist, who works with my massage therapist. I have a reflexologist who works with them. My dentist works with my other doctors. Like I share information with these, and I keep up with them to ensure that they are knowing what's going on with my body as well as me. But because I don't want it, I guess what I didn't want to have like all these doctors over the place that are not working together. And to me, that is my way of taking back my sovereignty. That is my way of being able to hone in on my body. And then instead of people telling me just people telling you what's going on with you. I am able to tell them, hey, this is going on with me based on your professional experience. What are you seeing happening here? And what is your professional opinion based on your practice? Remember, these people are practicing. So that's just something I think it's going to be really important that women take ownership of their self, of their health, their eating, what you're eating. There's other parts of this earth magic that has been coming up too, but we're talking specifically with the body. But you're going to also see your finances change. I'm telling you, you're going to see your finances change when you are having a shift in your body and bringing awareness, because then you start to realize where your money blockages are, because it manifests. Oh my God, when I say these things manifest in the body, it does. Our love life, our finances, our relationships, they manifest in the body, and it can either manifest with issues or can manifest in thriving. And so that's going to be another key, and we'll talk about this a little bit more in the Emergency Temple. As I will be reopening the temple this summer. So if you ladies are interested in coming into the temple, being members of this temple, definitely come, because I'm actually going to start it as a membership, because I want this temple to be a temple, like a church, but a temple. And it's a place where we will come and convene and learn, grow, and share, because we each have something that we have been working within that we can share with each other, and create these sister circles and these sister groups. That is my vision for my the temple. But we are going through a name change with the temple, and I'm actually getting ready to close out, ladies. So I hope there wasn't too much information I threw at you, or wasn't too sporadic, because we are in a Mercury retrograde. But I hope that this was able to give some foundational understanding of your elementals, and being very working with your elementals and understanding it, and gaining back sovereignty over it, and maybe even finding steps and solutions on how you can do that for yourself, whether it's your air element that needs some work on, whether it's your water, earth, fire, whichever element, ether, whichever element that you are working within or wanting to gain more wisdom and strength in. Definitely reach out and connect with me, and I will be more than happy to share and work with you in that. But this summer, I'm bringing back the Emergence Temple. Like I said, she's going through a little name change, but it's going to be more of a membership base, where you guys can join and be a member of this temple. And this is where you will be able to like I said, share, offer, learn, because I'm going to have some learning courses within that, as well as you ladies who want to join. You all have gifts too that you can give back to the temple. So if you want to teach something, or you feel called and led to lead something, lead a sister circle within the temple, then I want to create this space. I'm creating this space for women to do that. So we need to get back. This is something else that Earth Mother has been telling me. It's time to get back to the sisterhood. It's time to bring back the conjuring. It's time to bring back the sacred sisterhood. And so that's what this temple will be for. So we'll be launching her in the summertime. I'm looking around the Cancer full moon. That's where we're looking to have her launch date, her relaunch date, with the new name and the membership package that the ladies, sisters can join in. And we got some ladies, we're doing some amazing things. But I'm closing out. I know I shared a lot. If you have any questions or you have any comments, y'all, ladies, take your time. I'm gonna let y'all post them in the comment section. But please make sure that you guys are subscribed to the YouTube channel. You'll find me here on Sundays, particularly around this time, but I will make sure I have it posted in the community post. You guys can find me on social sites as Tahiri Divine. Oh, what'd you say here, love? Priestess need a temple in which we can. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. That is what it's time for the priestesses to come together. Yes, yes. Ashe, I feel that call too. Yes, it's the call. It's the call to sisterhood. I'm telling you, that's what we're missing. And that's what the patriarchy thought it was going to destroy. But now, boo boo. I am the descendants of the ancestors that you could not kill off, okay? You are the descendants of the witchy women, of the oracles, of the priestesses, of the sibyls, of all of these women from our ancient present past. You are their descendants, or you just might be her. And so it's time for us to get together. But all right, ladies, if we have no more questions or comments or any clarification of things that I brought up that you'd like me to clarify while I'm here, I'm going to close us out. But I look forward to seeing you all next Sunday, same time, particularly. But until then, I love you all. I'm so honored to be here. I'm so looking forward to this membership temple that we're going to be having opening up in, like I said, around the Cancer full moon. So until next time, I love you and peace.